Hey guys, Mike here coming at you with another Vanguard OverDress profile. This time we're gonna talk about the new Magnolia stuff, which is from the nation of Stoicheia. It's basically a lot of the starter deck stuff, but you will need some of the DBT01 stuff that came in Genesis of the 5 Grapes to really push it over the edge and give you that extra attack power as well as extra boosting that you need. So without further ado, we're just gonna get started once again with the ride chain. Pretty standard, same as the starter deck. When you're starting Vanguard, it is the Sylvanhorn Beast latisse. Sorry if I butcher any of these cards' names, guys. Same as any other starting Vanguard. When it's rode upon and you're going second, you draw a card. Then we have the Sylvanhorn Beast Charis. That is when it's rode upon by the Sylvanhorn Beast latisse. You will get to look at the top card of your deck, and if it is a grade 2 or less unit, call it to a rear guard, and if it isn't, you get to put it into your soul. This part, when this unit is rode upon, guys, it is not optional. You will have to reveal the top card, and if it's grade 2 or less, play it. If not, put it into the soul. Unfortunately, that part is not optional. Then we have the main Vanguard himself, Sylvanhorn Beast King Magnolia, and when latisse is rode upon by Magnolia, you get to Soul Blast 1, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a unit, you get to call it. If it's anything else, you put it into your hand. So this is the ride lineup, same as the starter deck. That part hasn't changed. And now we're gonna go into the main deck. Once again, we have 3 of the main Vanguard in the main deck. You want 3 so that hopefully you can Persona Ride. When it's a really good card, guys. When this card attacks, you get to counterblast 1 and choose one of your back row rear guards, and it can attack from the back row. So that's really cool because you don't have to commit it to the front row and have it possibly retired by an attack, or maybe even by a card effect that specifically designates the front row rear guard circle. You could just keep whatever you need in the back, and it can attack from the back, and it will gain 5k. But what's really cool is if you Persona Ride on top of him, you will get to choose 3 back row rear guard circles instead of just 1. So basically, on your Persona Ride, if everything is done properly, you will get 6 attacks, which is pretty nuts. Next we have 3 of Astute Noble Edgar. He's a very basic card, but you do want to run him because when this unit attacks, you get to counterblast and he gains 5k. So it's a nice little extra boost, putting him at 18k, and if you Persona Road 28, which isn't a bad number. It will, if your opponent's Vanguard is at grade 3 and they're 13, they would have to drop at least 20k shield to block that attack, which is basically at least 2 cards out of their hand just off 1 attack, which is really good. Next, we're gonna run 3 more of the grade 2 that we see in the ride line from the ride deck, Sylvanhorn Beast latisse. The reason why is because when it's in the back row rear guard circle and it attacks the Vanguard, you get to Soul Blast 1 and it will gain 10k. So it'll provide a nice pressure from the back even if you don't hit a trigger, forcing your opponent to either take the hit or guard. Next, we have Sylvanhorn Beast Duggar. He's a really interesting card because if you have 4 or more other rear guards, including other copies of himself, he will gain 5k. So you could keep him in the front since he's a grade 2 to intercept, or you can leave him in the back to attack from the back with everything else and apply any triggers up to him. He will be base 15k if his effect goes off, so that's not bad. Next we have 4 of Elenia from the build you may have seen of Zorga. It's good no matter what Stoicheia build you're running, because just being able to call recur resources from the drop zone to give you that additional board presence so that you could go in even further and provide additional pressure to your opponent is really good. And whatever you call back, gaining that 5k is once again really needed because you want to apply as much pressure as possible from the back. Then we have what in my opinion arguably is the best card for the deck that came out of the set, Sylvanhorn Beast Gunosa. Sorry about that. If he's in the back row rear guard circle and he attacks, he gets the counterblast and he chooses one of your other rear guards and he gains, and his power becomes the same as that unit's. So basically it's really cool because let's say you hit the over trigger and you apply it to another rear guard. When he attacks, you could just counterblast one and he will gain the unit that you choose, so you can have him gain the 100 million from the other unit. That way you'll have 200 million attacks. And or even if you don't hit the over trigger, just being able to gain the power of something else and knowing that you don't have to divide your triggers amongst your different units, you can just have one unit really big, and knowing that for just one counterblast you can make another unit just as big is really neat. Next we have Sylvanhorn Beast aglio, 2 of them, because when you retire this unit, you get to choose 2 of your units and they will gain 5k until the end of the turn. So it's really cool too. You do have to retire it, which sucks, but being able to gain 5k on top of the 5k that everything else gains. Some cards even gain 10k, like the grade 2 from the right deck that we discussed. All of it adds up, and when it's attacking from the back row, it really adds. Next we have the 3 from the right deck, again, Sylvanhorn Beast Charis, because of his effect when he's in the back row rear guard circle and he attacks, he'll be able to gain an additional 5k, putting him at 13 minimum. So at the very least, he'll be able to attack your opponent's grade 3, get either an intercept off the board or an extra card out of their hand. Alright guys, we have once again the Stoicheia PG, which every nation has one. When you're under a certain hand size, you get to perfect guard for free. A million times preferred over the regular perfect guard that comes in the starter deck, because you want to make the most out of having a terrible hand size. Next we have 4 draw triggers. Some people like running fronts. I understand them in that case, but the problem is the fronts, literally just as the name describes, only covers the front 3 rows. They won't cover the back 3. So when you're attacking for 6 from 3 from the back, it won't really make a difference if you hit a front or not. It's nice when you hit the front trigger and you're able to, you know, make the front 3 really strong. But once again, this is a game where you want to have as much hand size as possible to defend against your opponent's attacks. These draw triggers could either get you another trigger that you can use to defend, or it may even get you the PG that we just discussed, so you'll be able to hopefully survive, persona ride again, get that extra card, get that extra 10k, and then once again attack from the back row, so you'll have 6 more attacks next turn. Next, I do play 4 critical triggers of the Abyss Temptation, and then 3 from the starter decks. You could choose to play 4 of this or 3 of this. It doesn't really matter. The total crit lineup is 7. I just prefer this one because I personally just think it looks cooler. And then we have 4 PG. I'm sorry, not PGs. 4 heal triggers. You want to heal. You want to make sure your opponent has as tough as a time to getting you to 6 as possible. Being able to heal on 6, where you're about to take the 6 damage, and then you get a heal trigger letting you live possibly another turn, is exactly what you need. It sucks when it happens to you where you're battling them and they hit the heal on 6, but that's just part of the game. So, and then lastly we have the Stoicheia over trigger. I mentioned this before in another video. I really love this one because you get to basically draw an additional card off already drawing for checking the over trigger. You get to choose one of your units. It gets an extra crit. All of your front row gets 10k. And if you have more damage than your opponent, you get to heal. So it's kind of like playing another heal. All over triggers, if they're checked, no matter what, they leave the field. So technically, if you over trigger on 6, no matter what over trigger it is, the damage will technically not go through, but it's nice just to get an extra heal off already what you're getting. Alright guys, that's the deck profile. Thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully you enjoy it and have fun.